All right, welcome back. We're going to shift the conversation now and talk about women in leadership, in politics, in positions of power. If you are Nigerian, you definitely have seen the news in the past week with what's going on in the Senate with regards to Senator Natasha Akpoti and all of the drama that's unfolded with regards to her allegations against the Senate president. I'm joined here now by Precious Omorege, who's a lawyer. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So, you know, it's very hard to comment on this because there are so many sides to this and we've just heard one side. We haven't heard from the Senate president. We also don't have any facts. But it was an allegation that was laid very strongly, you know, by Senator Natasha Akpoti. And without going into the details of what she said, it just got me thinking about, you know, women in positions of power in Nigeria. First of all, in the Senate of 109 senators, we have just 4 women who are there. You know, and it makes you wonder, are we regressing, are we progressing? And then one of these 4, who is supposed to be sort of, you know, doing the business and showing, you know, that women can do this as well, is now mired in this controversy, which just makes everything, leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth, you know. What are your thoughts on how things have played out so far, especially with other women in the Senate who have come out and said things, basically not necessarily supporting her, you know, saying, basically siding with the president of the Senate and all of that. It's been quite dramatic to watch.
Yeah. Thank you for asking me. First off, happy International Women's Month. I mean, it's about, what, 7-8 days, but yes. I feel like this is a very clear example of how the normal woman is you know, perceived or taken serious when sexual harassment claims are brought up. Now, it's an issue that, like you said, we have to hear all sides of the story, but somebody has laid an allegation and there should be an investigation launched into it instead of, you know, coming up to say, yeah, he's not like that. You know, I've seen the Senate Vice President has come out to defend her husband and actually sue for defamation, which I feel is a bit ridiculous because first we should hear this allegation. Let's see the evidence she has. Let it get to court, right? And then afterwards, if there's no strong basis and they cannot actually find anything towards it, then you can sue for defamation. It's almost like you're saying, my husband can't do that, shut up. But in her explanation, Senator Natasha literally said it was her husband, and the Senate president. So there's no way the wife would have known if that kind of thing had happened. Even if it happened, like, she won't be able to know. These are signs that we are not taken serious as women when we report about sexual offenses. It's a very serious issue. This is a clear example of how somebody in an office in Egbeda can come and say, go and meet the police and say, oh, I was assaulted by my boss, and they're like, what did you do? That's not true. You cannot. So if this is happening right in front of us at the highest level with lawmakers, what does that say about a regular woman working in 9 to 5?
I mean, a lot of people have brought up the counter-argument that there have been false accusations in the past, not necessarily in the Senate, just generally in life, you know, so it's always hard to believe at the first instance. So I guess your take is investigate, even if you don't believe.
A lot of people lie that, oh, they were robbed, but that doesn't mean if I bring a robbery claim to the police station, they will not take me serious. You first investigate first, take out and look at the evidence they have, and that's when you know if you can go to court or not. So there's nothing like Senator Natasha should come and meet the Senate president before going to make such claims. It's her right. Her voice should be heard, and it should be tabled first before any other thing. That's my own take on it.
So like the Senator Ireti Kingibe did come out and do an interview not too long after, I mean just a few hours I believe after the allegations were laid, and she also defended the Senate president pretty much and talked about how Senator Natasha hadn't reached out to them and all of that, and oh, she's a younger senator, she's like a daughter to me and all of that. Do you think that was wrong for her to have done, you know, what she did? Because I mean, in her estimation, if something like this happened, we were there first. You should have come to us to tell us. Is that how it should have been handled? Do you think Senator Ireti Kingibe handled things wrongly?
I don't think so. It's a sexual assault or harassment, let's say sexual harassment claim. And I feel like the only reason why this lady would have said that is because in Nigeria, we don't take sexual assault or harassment seriously. Some people don't even know what they're doing as men to women is considered harassment. If you bring a bitter or, you know, and you just speak to me in a manner I feel that is not welcome, especially when I didn't give you the authority to say certain things to me, especially in a working environment, or maybe you were colleagues and you make sexual advances, jokes, that is harassment. And in more civilized areas of the world, is taken very seriously. Even as little as a funny joke about your appearance, it's taken seriously. But we're so used to not taking, like I said, sexual harassment seriously in Nigeria. So some people just feel like this was, even if he said that he's always joking. How do you joke about something that serious? She's a married woman, and she has every right to report straight to the authorities or sue. She cannot come and meet you. You are not her mother. That's number one. Even if you feel like you are older than her, you are not her mom. If your daughter went through the same process, I feel like you would expect her to go and report to the authorities first before coming to meet you or talk to you, but not going to meet the accused person and have a conversation. So are you trying to say she's trying to ask for money or ask for something? It's a matter that should go to court and should be, like I said, tabled, and evidences should be brought on the table.
Let's be clear that these are all allegations.
Allegations, exactly.
So these are all alleged. We don't have any evidence of anything yet. Yeah. But she has laid her claim, and we're waiting to hear from the side of the Senate President. Or, like you said, if it goes to court, we see this play out in court. But it's just, like you said, it's International Women's Month, and this has sort of started the month off on a very dramatic note. Also coming off the heels of what's happened in the Lagos State House of Assembly. Where Lagos State had its first female speaker. The last speaker was impeached in very dramatic form. He was out in the United States. Mojisola Miranda was made Speaker of Lagos State. She became Speaker. Former Speaker Obasa came back and then showed up a few days ago. We heard that Honorable Miranda's security had been withdrawn. He drove in and he decided that he's still the speaker. And the argument has been, if it was a man, would this have happened? I guess it would. We've seen things play out in several houses of assembly across Nigeria with this kind of drama. But do you think this does anything to take away from, women who aspire to be in politics in this country? I
feel like you said, it does take away the hard work. Women were going through a lot. Let's even start there. So, you see, even this month, if they had the right, they would have taken this month from us and say, no, it's too long, But I feel like what's happening in the Lagos State House of Assembly is rather embarrassing because everything, like you said, Obasa claims that allegedly, he was impeached improperly. And I actually took time to go back to the Constitution, Section 92, which states that there can actually be an impeachment of a Speaker of the House of Assembly with a majority ratio. And I actually checked how many people were there the day this happened, and there were about 30-something people out of 40 people. So it's more than the majority needed. And he understands that he's a lawmaker, right? They're supposed to set, again, these are people that are supposed to set examples for us Nigerians and us, the younger ones, so that we're able to understand and see that, this is how the law works. And we have to all follow through with what the law is saying. Now, you now coming back and saying that the woman that was literally made speaker is no longer the speaker because you have come back. It's basically you trying to take it away from her. And that's, again, what they do to women. We work hard. They feel like, why do you just come and take this position, and they want to take it away from her. Right now, I feel like, again, due process must be followed because people are watching, Nigerians are watching. You are telling Nigerians, obey the law, follow the law, and then you are breaking the law as a lawmaker. It doesn't really make any sense. If he feels like he was impeached illegally or in a procedure that wasn't done right, then you seek redress. That is what we're taught as lawyers and as lawmakers. I'm sure that's what they're taught as well. So why would you now want to act in that manner just so you can embarrass the person on your seat?
It's interesting that both these things are playing out in legislative houses,
exactly.
Places where laws are made. And we'll see how things play out. But just on the final note, I don't know what the expectations should be. There's a Ministry of Women Affairs. I don't know if they have a role in this. What do you want to see happen? With all of these issues, like you said, it's Women's Month. We need to hear more positive stories around, women in power, because a lot of people aspire to be these things. But when they see things play out like this, I don't know what it does to the psyche of a young woman. What do you want to see happen?
Well, I'll say, first of all, first and most importantly, women need to be safe. We've seen countless women in the past few months lose their lives to people they love, they trust, and women that have been killed by random men they trust and men they don't trust for absolutely nothing. They've diced their bodies, and it's really scary. Women are not safe. I feel there has to be a strong intervention, not just from the Women Affairs, but from actually the government to make sure that women are safe. The violence against women is becoming alarming. It's going from different ages. Nobody is safe. The old, young, babies, everyone is receiving from one way or the other, and that is not good. Our voices also need to be heard. You've mentioned 2 scenarios, Senator Natasha and also Honorable Mojisola. It's so obvious that our voices are not taken seriously. We're talking and people are saying why, they're questioning why we're speaking up, why things are happening to us, and it doesn't make any sense. Women are very strong and fearless people, and like you said, this is happening to women in power. Imagine regular women like myself, what is happening to us, what are we facing? And women that are in the spotlight in the legislative houses are going through this and nobody is even speaking on their behalf. So what happened to women supporting women? I've not seen any woman come out to support, from their own legislative houses.
In fact, sorry to cut you, even on the flip side, I mean, like we said, we had a senator who even spoke out against the female senator.
Yeah.
We saw a protest, I think, yesterday break out in Akpabio with women protesting against Senator Natasha. So what does that now say about,
Reverse
it's not just men doing this?
Yes. They use the women as the tools. That's why I was asking, I said, okay, if there's an allegation against your partner and you see it, the only normal thing for you to do is to watch as it plays out. Why are you suing for defamation and human rights? You don't even know the evidence she has. It's only normal you listen and watch as everything. So how are you supporting your fellow woman? Because if, God forbid, our daughters come with that kind of statement, we're not going to sue immediately. What happened? Let's hear what happened. Okay, this is the way you go about it. This is not... And I don't think anything about harassment should be sat down and spoken about. Yeah. Justice has to be served. So,
thank you very much, Precious Morege. A lot of this is still unfolding. I guess we're going to be watching in the next couple of days how this plays out, and everybody should just be safe. But once again, happy International Women's Month.
Thank you.
Hopefully it goes better.
It will.
In the weeks that come for women. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.